Teams, I will need total silence, please, because it'd be difficult. Thank you, and she's gonna be joining. This is gonna be a Michelle Lucas.
Kentucky.
It's Doug's hometown.
You ripped it.
No.
What'd you say?
It's Doug's hometown.
Oh, is it?
When I saw Winchester, I thought that
It
has to
says
be
it's
like
about
Virginia
town
or
of about
something.
30,000 people.
My mom was a city clerk
19,071.
4 years ago. Oh, it was 19,000? Clark County's 30,000.
Hey, Julie, the answer to your question was remote. The job is a remote.
Okay, thank you.
This all be time we get through. That's scary. I'm ready to shout.
Looks like she's on mute.
Oh, this is a video one?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Hey, Michelle,
Hello.
are you able to come on camera?
Let me see. Here we go.
Ta-da.
Hi. I'll introduce myself. I'm Michelle Miller. I'm the mayor of Mexico Beach, and we're so glad that you've joined us via Teams for this interview. And the first question I'll ask this evening is, have you talked with anyone that is sitting at our council table about this job position prior to this interview?
Just via email, but not personally
Okay.
on the phone.
Good, thank you. All right. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience with municipal financing and accounting?
Okay, I just retired medically December 31st of 2022, and then the medical issue was fixed in the middle of January. So I've spent the last 9 years with the city of Winchester in Winchester, Kentucky. I served first as the payroll clerk, plus AP and AR both. Then I moved into the role as deputy finance director until the finance director retired, and I moved into the role of finance director. I actually have a certification in payroll. I worked with GAAP. I worked with the outside auditors, as well as myself doing auditing within my own department. And every aspect, I guess, of, I handled everything from the incoming monies to the outgoing monies, preparing budgets, working with auditors, and, getting my staff on board to make sure everything's done in a timely fashion.
Okay. Can you tell, well, I think we're going to have this question. I'm going to move you over, I don't know if you can see, over to Mr. Wolf.
Hey, how you doing today?
Good, and you?
Good, good, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. I have a couple questions. Just number one, just you know the government, you know the principle, the GAAP principles.
The GAAP financing, yes.
Can you tell? You were just starting to tell me what they were. What are the four
The GAAP.
principles?
Oh, Lord, you're asking a lot on my mind tonight.
Okay.
I know that they're government accounting accepted principles.
That's the GASB. That's the government
Yes.
side of it. Okay. The other one is cost, revenue, and matching and disclosure. Okay. Good. Can you tell me, do you work best alone or with a team?
I work either way. A lot of times we go in really early because I can get more accomplished when no one was there. But I also worked on multiple interruptions throughout the day. My office was sometimes felt like a revolving door. So I'm used to working with both aspects.
Okay. Good. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know you just retired. Is this something you're looking forward to do for a long time or what?
It is. I did not intend to retire. I was kind of forced into it because of my office had steps. And at that point, I could not conquer the steps without falling. And so that was the worst thing I ever had to do was to resign my position because I had planned on retiring in that position.
Okay. All right, Dwelly?
Hello, you can hear us all right?
Yes.
So, okay. Historically, Mexico Beach has had internal control findings in their audits almost every year. What does internal control mean to you, and what will you implement to further promote transparency and work on internal controls?
A lot of it depends on how the department is built as far as the internal controls. One of the biggest things I know through audits as well with internal controls, it was having multi-level approvals, having, no one had total control. It required 2 signatures on all checks. It required us to, whatever my staff did, it came up a chain. It came from like my tax clerk up to my deputy director up to me for final say so. And then if I felt there was a problem, then I would go to the city manager. And then if had to, we would go on to the city commissioners.
Do you want me to keep going, or should we do what we did last time? I'll knock out all 4 right away.
Either way.
Yeah.
All right, next one for me is, we are a pooled cash system here. Have you worked with pooled cash, or were they their own accounts?
No, we were full cash, but then we went to accrual basis as for our auditors.
Okay, and you did accrual on pooled cash or not?
We converted from full cash to accrual basis.
Okay, we're accrual here too.
Okay.
Have you ever created or managed a property asset management program of all the assets, tagging, all that good stuff?
We did. Actually, our procurement specialist did most of that, but then it came into my office in order to work with the auditors.
Okay. Next one for me is, can you walk us through the budget process? How do you go about creating, presenting a budget?
The way the budget process worked in Winchester was that in early February, we were on a fiscal year, so we were July 1 through June 30. In the beginning of February, I would prepare out like a worksheet for each department. It was sent out to that department. They had 30 days to get it back to me. I would go over it and input it into like a preliminary budget. We would then meet the city manager, myself, the city clerk, and each department head would go over and we would kind of take it to the bare knuckles sometimes. And then I would go back and kind of input things that we looked at different cuts or whatever needed to be done. Then we went before the full commission and we did a couple work days where the commission met with each of the department heads and we went through every line by line and then done a final review before it went, and it had to have 2 approvals through the council.
All right, and I have a last one, and before I say it, I want to say this has not been discussed at all, so don't think this is where we're going, but I just need to know. If this position moved in-house, would you still be interested in taking it if it was on-site?
Yes, I would relocate in a heartbeat.
Thank you.
That answered one of my questions too.
Very good.
Ma'am, do you want this job?
Yes, I would love to have this position.
I'm simple. But I do have one other question. Who did you email? Somebody at the table? Was it Doug or just when you said you contacted when the mayor asked you? You
I
said
will
you
tell
emailed.
you.
Was it
just a
Tammy?
second.
Probably just sit there.
Okay, I just was curious.
Right, Julie.
That's all, Miss Lucas. That's fine. That's good enough for me.
Okay,
Somebody tell me before the night's over with.
it was Julie.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man.
She's hiding behind the computer, you
Yeah,
can't
she's
see her.
Ma'am, are you familiar with our software?
What software do you use?
Y'all might.
Springbrook.
I have heard of it, I have not used it, but that's one thing I am pretty quick at is learning software.
I want to interrupt and ask one
I
question.
talk
Did you
computer
ask one of your
software.
questions?
Yes.
What do you worked with? What did you work with most recently?
I used a company called Software Solutions. They're out of Dayton, Ohio. And that was my full functional accounting software. It did my accounts payable, did my accounts receivable, as well as all of my financial. And then also, our budget was on a spreadsheet that I converted into a regular full document. I took our budget from 300 something pages down to 110.
Can I ask what y'all's budget was? What,
General
what's
budget
the
was
largest
just-
budget you've dealt with?
Well, we had multiple different funds, altogether about 45 million.
Okay. Thank you.
That was, I wanna know, anyway. That's
Sorry,
fine.
I didn't mean to take your
Listen, that's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Ma'am, it's hard for me to think the job you got now about our money. Is that money that we offering you, is that gonna be in your satisfaction, or?
My husband is retired, and when I retired, we paid off everything we owed, so I don't have to have as high a salary as I had prior. So I'm very comfortable with that.
Good question. Good answer. Good question. Thank you.
Okay. I believe you'd be good for this job.
All right.
I definitely would enjoy it. I love my financial aspects of things.
All right. Any other questions?
I'm
Mr.
through.
Smith?
I'm good.
Miss Hamilton.
Michelle, I'm Linda Hamilton. So your current job, you are still working at your current job, is that correct, or have you retired?
I am not.
Okay. So what are you anticipating as the number of hours you would need to put in on this job in your mind? What do you think it's going to take?
Well, in the beginning, of course, it's going to take longer just getting antiquated with everything and, getting a home office situated as far as whatever needs to be here on site. Typically, depending on if it's budget season or audit season, it really doesn't take that long through a week. You're talking about 30, maybe 32 hours. Now, during audit season and during budget season, it does take a little longer because I'm very detail oriented.
Okay, thank you.
So do you, Ms. Lucas, you know that this is currently a contract position?
I was not aware of that, but that's okay.
Okay. Not saying that that's, set in stone, but right now it's a contract position that we're looking at.
Okay.
Okay. You got another?
I do.
I bet you do.
I have another question, and I did not ask this one before.
Mr. Welly?
FEMA, have you ever dealt with the reimbursement process of FEMA, the reconciliations, the separate fund balances, all of that good stuff? Have you ever had experience with a disaster?
Oh, yes. Yes, we just recently, October of 21, we had our town branch flood and flooded out a major portion of one area of town. Plus, we've had numerous snowstorms that we've had to deal with. So I've always been the one that has worked with all the grants from beginning to end.
Any idea?
Including all, I'm sorry.
Sorry, what was your FEMA amount that you had to deal with? Just because I'm curious.
I apologize, I didn't hear you.
FEMA funds?
Yes,
No, about how much money of FEMA funds was that disaster?
I had $500,000 at one time.
Okay. Same job, just bigger.
You hate that. I don't-
But I also dealt with all the ARPA monies that are out that came through and all of the usage of those funds. So I managed all those and the COVID funds that came out prior to.
I'm through.
I won't do it again. I won't do it again.
Question.
I'll be here.
I'm good.
Do you have any?
No.
Welcome.
You can ask good questions.
Very good. So, Ms. Lucas, do you have any questions for us tonight?
I do.
Okay, good.
One of them, of course, was the software. You said that was
Springbrook.
Springbrook.
It's an Excelis company, if you know Excelis.
Okay. Are you all on a calendar or fiscal year?
Fiscal.
Fiscal.
And your fiscal starts when?
October 1.
No, did you say November?
October.
October 1.
October 1. Okay. Now, the training that would come, I know there's going to have to be some training between the current financial director and myself. Would that be in person or would it be online?
I'd have to say if it was that, it would be some teams, like a teams meeting. She actually is in Kentucky too.
Yeah.
Our outgoing is in Kentucky, so maybe in person in Kentucky, who knows?
Exactly.
But it would be teams. We also have some money set aside for Springbrook training, if that's what she means also.
Yeah,
Okay.
That would be virtual.
that would be good.
And how soon are you looking actually to hire someone?
Yesterday.
Yesterday.
Oh,
Actually,
okay.
immediately, yeah. That was gonna be my next question, Ms. Lucas. Would you be able to start immediately if you were hired for this position?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
And what software, or what hardware, I'm sorry, are you providing so that everything is kind of basically under lock and key?
We usually do a laptop, right? That's
So
what
we
do.
supply a laptop,
Yeah.
and several other miscellaneous supplies that that person would need. We would have to get some supplies to her and things of that nature, and some files, but we coordinate that in person.
Yeah. Our city administrator and our current director would coordinate with you to make sure you have all your tools that you need to do this job.
Well, that sounds great. Those were the questions I had.
All right.
How about, earlier you had said you retired in, January of '23?
Yes.
That's correct?
And by the second week of January, I was ready to go back to work, and I didn't care where at that point.
Right.
I'm not used to being at home.
You said that was for medical or not?
It was.
Are you okay now for travel?
I am.
That's a good
I developed something called a drop foot syndrome where I was falling, but they corrected that with a brace, so I'm driving again and going pretty much and doing whatever I want.
That's about traveling, that's, okay.
Travel, I'm good with.
Okay. Because this would possibly be at least a couple of times a year to come in-house, but of course the city would cover that expense for you.
That's not a problem.
Okay. All right, any other questions before we wrap it up?
How long would drive from here to Winchester?
15.
Probably,
Oh.
as you're out on the Panhandle, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Out near Destin. I think it's about 13 hours.
How about it, Quinn?
She's accurate.
I got a lady here, I think, from close to Winchester, so I was asking, I don't know how many commute, that would take you 2 days, or you could fly out. I just don't know how long it
Fly
takes.
out, I can fly out and be there in 3 hours.
That's what I want.
And
Okay,
that's from Cincinnati or Lexington.
well, Ms. Lucas, we appreciate you tuning in with us today for this interview, and I hope you have a great evening.
Thank you. I enjoyed meeting you all.
Nice meeting you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
We didn't say that.
What do we got, 10 minutes?
Mike,
What?
have it all?
16?
Yeah, we'll call it a 10-minute break. You can get up and stretch.
I like that.